Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to talk about a very famous Indian Pakistani author. And basically this video is dedicated to the great and amazing Sadat Hasan Manto. uh, as per my understanding, and it is very surprising for me, by the way, not many Indians have heard about Manto, and even in Indian textbooks, you actually don't have much of Manto as opposed to Prem Chand or other Hindi authors. But Manto was an Urdu author who was, of course, an Indian, and after the partition, he went to Pakistan. So at the end, he is a Pakistani author. Sadat Hasan Manto was born in Indian Punjab in 1912, and he died in 1955 in Lahore. And his works are actually considered to be one of the best works from the Indian subcontinent. He mainly dealt with short stories in Urdu, and he often talks about a lot of controversial and taboo subjects in his works. And he also talks about a lot about Bombay and India in general. In all honesty, I also discovered Manto like 3 to 4 years back. Until then, I had not even heard of Manto. I think it is because, in general, in India, we don't talk about, or in the Indian subcontinent for that matter, we do not talk about controversial authors. And at the same time, when we talk about our Hindi textbooks or translated stories, there is more emphasis on other great Hindi authors, which is of course amazing. But I don't remember reading or studying anything by Manto in my Hindi textbooks when I was in school. Now, Manto is a very interesting person, right? He was one of those people who wanted to stay in India, like in the Hindu majority India, when the partition actually took place, because he found that he wanted to stay in Bombay, where he had his whole career ahead of him. Like, he used to work in radio, he used to work in the film industry as well. And it's after, like, all the riots started after the partition, of course, that's when he decided that he had to go to Pakistan. And one of the most interesting part of Manto's short stories would be this whole fact that he tries to emphasize on partition in such a way that you'll never know if it's fiction or non-fiction. For example, this is the book that I read recently on Manto. It's called Manto Selected Short Stories, and this has been translated by the renowned author Atish Tasir. And basically, Atish Tasir has stated in this book, in the introductory part of this book, that it's very difficult to actually segregate Manto the character and Manto the man himself, because Manto himself was a very troubled person. He had to leave a lot of his life behind, a lot of his things behind, and go to Pakistan, which was a newly formed country then. And more importantly, it felt like, when I was reading the stories in this book, because there are quite a few stories, selected stories, that's been translated very well by Atish Tasir. It mainly talks about sex, prostitution. It also talks about the streets of Bombay, the B grade film industry. It also talks about the partition in general. Manto was one of those people who did not find the partition to be a useful thing. I think many people did not find partition to be a useful thing, and even today in India, that kind of repercussions of partition still play out, because there is a separate country for two different religions. And that being said, it's a very complicated story, right? Because on one hand, we talk about violence, and we talk about religion, we talk about uh, various phobias considering certain religions and stuff like that. It's very interesting to see how Manto tackles them. It's very interesting to see how he tackles religion and how he tackles partition in general. For example, Toba Tek Singh is one story from the partition, where after a few years of the partition, a time comes when the Indian government and the Pakistani government decide that they have to exchange uh, mental health patients, that's I think the better term than lunatics, because the book mentions them as lunatics. And it's better to like exchange, I would say, mental health patients in the respective mental health asylums in Pakistan and India. So basically, the decision, okay, was that if your family is in India, irrespective of your religion, like you're Hindu or Muslim, then you stay in India. But if you are a Muslim, of course, and you're in Pakistan, your family is in Pakistan, then they send you to Pakistan. And the same with Pakistan, because in Pakistan, the Hindu and Sikh majority was less, is still very less, and they had decided to like send, mental health patients from the asylum in Pakistan to India. And in the middle of all this, so of course, like not all of them are mental health patients, by the way, and many of them, like, were murderers, and maybe, the system was corrupt and the officials were bribed in order to put murderers so that they escape the gallows. So in this whole commotion, right, that's happening, because this is more like a mental health patient exchange, or like the book says, like an exchange of lunatics. That's how the government officials call it. In the amidst all of this, there is a man called Toba Tek Singh who actually does not know where is he from. He does not know where is he from. He doesn't know whether he's from India. He doesn't know whether he's from Pakistan. And that's how the whole story embroils. And this is not a spoiler or anything. This is how the story starts. But this is a very interesting concept, right? Because Manto himself felt like that person. Manto himself felt like, what is India? What is Pakistan? Why is this whole thing happening right now? I mean, I was an Indian and suddenly I'm a Pakistani, and India and Pakistan were like one at one point of time. And for this, there's actually a quote which was translated from Urdu, which is a very interesting one that I am going to flip open right now. So I finally flipped open the quote, and here it goes. Try as I did, I wasn't able to separate Pakistan from India and India from Pakistan. Again and again, troubling questions rang in my mind. Will Pakistan's literature be separate from that of India's? If so, how? Who owns all that was written in undivided India? Will that be partition too? Are India's and Pakistan's core problems not the same? Will Urdu be totally wiped out of India? What shape will it take here in Pakistan? Will our state be a religious one? We'll defend the state at all costs, but does that mean we won't have the permission to criticize the government? As an independent country, will our condition be different from what it was under the British? And this is a very interesting concept, right? Because as of today, thinking about an undivided India is a very difficult task. But then, thinking about a divided India was the most difficult task anyone had, because many people had to leave their belongings, their property, their life, literally just drop their life, get to a place that's more safe for them to survive, be it on this side or be it on that side. And more importantly, his writings explore the dilemma of human condition in general. It talks about how humans are, and it also talks about human experiences and how different people experience them in different ways. And under all those kind of narratives, under those kind of words that he weaves, now of course I do not know how to read Urdu, so I didn't read the original text in itself. But that being said, you can still gauge from his translation that there is a whole layer underneath the narrative. Like, the story seems very simple at first, but then as you think about the story, as you dig deeper into the story, you'll realize how convoluted it is, how complex it is. And that's how exactly Manto's life was, and that's how exactly Manto got to write. And more importantly, I think, like, the whole, I would say, overview of this thing is that we as readers, or we as general human beings who don't even read, try to judge things from a manner of our own understanding. We try to judge things from a manner of our own upbringing, our own culture. But what we don't see is how the other side is. What we don't see is what kind of turmoil can a human go through because of societal norms and because of societal rules. And Sadat Hassan Manto is one of those people. He actually went through a lot of pain in his life because of the partition. He went through a lot of, I would say, sadness, a lot of loneliness in general because of this whole uh, partition that had taken place. And of course, I mean, it's very sad. But more importantly, the way he portrays that kind of loneliness, that kind of sadness in his writing, although he's not himself, putting himself in that particular shoes. Like, when he talks about his experiences, they may not be exactly his experiences, but when you read them, they are his experiences. And you know that he loves Bombay so much, he loved India so much, that he did not want a divided India. He did not want the government or the British to divide the country into two parts. And that being said, the reason why you should read Manto is for the exact same reason, for the person he is. He simply does not know, or he simply, the reader simply does not know, sorry, not him, the reader simply does not know where to distinguish the real Manto and the character that Manto has written. And it's simply too complex to actually decipher the meaning behind his short stories and the underlying layer that you have to think about. And those kind of ideas, that layer just etches in your brain and just keeps rolling in your cerebrum because you don't know what to do about it. You're just helpless. And coming back to the story that I was talking about, Toba Tek Singh, of course no spoilers here, but at the end of the story you will realize that through the story of lunatics, through the story of mental health patients, how the partition looked like and how the partition actually looked like to the general people who were not even associated with the government. And yes, that's it. That's why you should read Manto, and that's why most people who want to get introduced to Pakistani/Indian literature should start with Manto. Manto is your guide here, and for the person he was and for the short-lived life that he actually lived, his work and his contribution to the literary scene in the Indian subcontinent and on the world front is amazing, and it is admirable. Do read Manto and let me know how you feel about it. Also, before you go, I just want to say that if you're actually planning to buy a Manto post watching this video, then I highly recommend buying this version. This is the Atish Taseer translated version. There is also another translator that's called Khalid Hassan, and I even read his stories here as well. Basically, when you read any translated work, especially in Urdu, and Manto being an amazing writer himself, it is always going to be a difficult translation. So, in my opinion, Atish Taseer does it much better than Khalid Hassan, because Khalid Hassan has a tendency to actually, I would say, improve on the author a bit. And I read, so this part of the book is Khalid Hassan's translations. Not that they are bad, it's just that they are not 100% accurate, and Atish Taseer is 100% accurate, or he tries to meet that particular perfectionist level. So yeah, that's it, and I will see you on my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.